I am. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Forever Sorting with Kevin A. Hinkle. I'm Brick Smith, your facilitator in the joys of the life and Lego of Kevin Hinkle. Kevin A. Hinkle, not Kevin Hinkle. Uh,
Right, right.
right. As always, I have our special guest here tonight, and that's Kevin A. Hinkle. I just like to say hello to Kevin. You're on the big screen. Kevin, say hello.
Hello, everybody. Hello, Brick Smith.
It's good to have you, good sir. Um, uh, I tell you, really enjoying the series, and from what I can tell from the community, they are as well. What this weekly episodic show is about is Kevin A. Hinkle and his time with and during and around Lego as a whole. And if you guys don't know, Kevin grinded with Lego his entire adult life up until this point uh, with the actual company.
Indeed.
He knows things, he's seen things, and he tells things now that we enjoy to hear, see, and smell. So that wasn't, yeah. By the way, I kept you on the big screen. This is one of those times. So Kevin's writing something.
I was just writing down notes.
Yeah. Where we left off last week was we had talked about the first store that Kevin worked at in Colorado Mills. Is that it? Is it the
Yep,
Colorado?
yep.
Not the Springs, but I'm from there.
Not the
I
Springs.
am from there, so
Of course you are.
of course. That's why Kevin does this interview with me because I spend a lot. I'm probably Kevin's best customer.
Thanks for making that drive just for us.
just, just for you guys. But anyway, if you don't know what I'm talking about, you missed it. You gotta go back and watch it. Link is not in the description, but there's a playlist on my channel. Oh,
Ooh.
I did that. Don't hurt yourself. So Kevin, he worked at the Colorado Mill store for the first 4 years of his 12-year trek through the world of Lego, and he started out as a sales associate or brick specialist.
Right.
Call him now. I learned that.
Yep.
We talked about Mike from the place up there in Pennsylvania.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
The words elude me right now. But so we talked about the worst customers.
We did.
We talked about the way the outlet store looked and the fact that an outlet store existed. And I know I'm recapping like crazy, but to hear Kevin say it makes it so much more fun. So go watch that video. So if you've enjoyed what you've heard so far, watch this one, go watch that one, and go watch the other three, and then the special Brick Fair one that's Kevin wouldn't shut up for an hour and a half.
Yeah, that was a long one.
Kevin, yeah, he did not shut it down.
And I'm pretty sure that I probably had much more to talk about Brick Fair.
We didn't scratch the surface. It essentially it was to promote and let everybody know that Brick Fair was happening in Virginia, and Kevin's involvement with it. However, Kevin has been to that show several times and has several episodes just about conventions and such. So,
right.
I'm ready for that. So without wasting any more time, real quick, if you have a question for Kevin that you want to have a video answered for, we are down for that. And hopefully, if everything went right, there were those questions from last week that were answered. I can't always tell if things work the way they're supposed to. You know how the internet works.
Right. We're monitoring the space-time continuum very closely. So if everything is still going good, we haven't disrupted the timeline yet.
1985, Biff has a
the sports almanac.
The casino. Yeah, he's good to go. So everything seems to be working just fine.
Nice.
That's the 1985 I remember.
Exactly.
So, but without wasting any more time listening to this old dog ramble, let's listen to this younger dog ramble.
Woof.
There it is.
There it is. So once again, thank you very much for Bricksmith for helping with this.
I forgot.
And no, see, I'm here. I'm swooping in.
Get it.
And thank you to all of you guys for your interest in watching and listening. As Julian just said, if you do have questions, please feel free to send them to him, to me, to anybody. Post them in the comments. I'm on social media. If you'd like to find me, Mr. Kevin Hinkle, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Flickr, Patreon, DeviantArt, all those. And you can send questions there if you wish. And then also my website, kevinahinkle.com. And if you have interest in following my work, either my artwork or my Lego work, sculptural work, it's Mr. Hinkle Draws. And you can find that also on all the different social media accounts.
There you go. Now I dropped the ball there, Kevin. My bad.
All good.
Because I know if you're watching this, you know who I am. But even though Kevin is more famous in the real world, he hasn't been played on the internet very long.
No, not really.
Not in this aspect.
I just downloaded my AOL disc, so I'm pretty excited.
Oh, yeah. You have mail.
Yeah.
So, okay. So, Kevin.
So since we spoke last time, because I remember as I was recounting all these tales, I'm always feeling myself going, man, I should have more props. And I know we did the boat hull from last time from the Ford Juniors.
Yeah, just for you, Hoosier, boat hull.
But I found another thing that I wanted to bring.
Okay.
It's this thing. This is a binder. It's a photo album.
What's a photo?
Right? What's an internet? But this is the official, if you could say the word official, photo album from the Lego store in Colorado Mills. So this was just sitting on a shelf in the back of the store. And once that store finally shut down for a total remodel, this was destined for the garbage.
No, don't throw it
So the people that were working in that store, which was years after I left, of course, looked at it because they were cleaning everything up. And they were like, what is this? And I'm sure no one had ever even looked through it for years. And they started looking through photos, not really recognizing anybody until they saw pictures of me in there. And at the time, I was kind of known still in the stores because I came from that environment. And so typically people in the Lego store ecosystem keep track of other Lego store people that move up and over, because those are kind of your brothers and sisters in arms, and you
call it a favor, right?
You remember them. And so I was recognized, and when I went to Denver Brick Fest a year ago or 2 years ago, I don't remember, it all blurs together, they offered for me to take this instead of them throwing it away. So I forgot that I had it last time, and so I have it, and I wanted to show just a couple things, not many.
We got all night, baby.
We're gonna go on until the sun comes up.
That's it. That's how we roll.
But there's a few things in here. So a good chunk of these were taken before I started working there.
Sure.
But this is photos from the opening day of the Lego store, which was.
Why are you looking at my face? Why is that on your big screen? Is it bringing your computer? I see the reflection in the picture. There it is. Hey, everybody.
There you are.
Hey.
There you are. So sorry, I'm trying not to make it too shiny, but opening day, November 14th, 2002.
Right.
So there's the store. This was my store. You can see there on the sign, Lego Outlet Store.
Wow.
There's a giant statue of Hagrid from Harry Potter.
I know him. Barber.
You can see here the wood floors of the mall and the concrete floors of the store. And you can see there's no ceiling. If you kind of take a sharp look there, you can see there's lights, but it goes straight up to the mall ceiling where there's the fire sprinklers up there. So there's no giant yellow brick. The walls were painted yellow, but that's about it. So
that is as sad as you explained it. God.
Right. So that's that's that. And there's another on the other side. Here's another photo kind of looking, again, I'm trying to make it so it's not so glary, but looking into the store, you can see, again, there's this kind of like a Chinese folding wall kind of thing going on in the back. So these black things would hold graphics, and these back ones would fold, just like you would fold like those fake walls.
Gotcha.
And so that's where the stock room was located, behind that like fake back wall.
Yeah.
And
Let's call it faux. Stop calling it fake.
FAUX. Faux. And there's 2 registers. There's only 2 registers. This like tower with the Lego logo, that was in the middle, and so there was 1 register on one side and 1 register attached on the other side.
Nice.
So that was one thing that I wanted to show, is that was the ugly store. And then flipping back, hopefully you don't take up too much time, so you don't have to stare at me looking through photos.
Oh, we got time. We got plenty of time. Kevin, they're here to see you.
I want to entertain.
Yeah, and you are entertaining just by sitting there. Look at that face, folks.
But yeah, so when I started working there, we found this photo album in the back, and we, meaning like me and my other fellow sales associates, found it, and we said, "What is this beautiful piece of timeless history?"
Yeah.
And what probably, and why are we not still actively contributing to this?
Absolutely.
And so we took it on. We was myself, one of my close friends and colleagues, Daniel, and another one by the name of Rob, who I talked about last time, I think. The 3 of us kind of made it our mission to keep this alive. And so it gets to a certain point in the album, and a lot of these are older photos from before I was there, but in the 2006-ish, so I started working in September of 2005.
Right.
So it's kind of near the end of the year, but like in the 2006 and on, we started actively kind of contributing to this photo album. So like here's a photo of myself meeting Santa Claus.
Is that Santa? I was about to say that. There you go.
And that's Daniel.
Hey, Daniel.
So there's me and Daniel and Santa Claus.
So Daniel still Legoing or no?
He is not. He worked there for many years after I left. Eventually, he got promoted to a store supervisor.
Oh, wow.
But then he did eventually leave, and he is currently a video editor for Golf Tech, if you know that company. They apparently produce all of the training videos for the PGA. So they actually do like real, like they have professional golfers come out and they'll teach you how to play golf, and they do the videos for it for places.
Wow.
And it's actually, he really enjoys it. And I have visited him in his office. His name's on a door. It's fancy.
Oh.
And I also remember that he had a gigantic like pair of scissors, like this big, and he had them in a normal size like cup that you put like pins on it on his desk. So it's a normal cup, but the scissors were like, it's things you do.
Absolutely.
But he did work there for many years after I left, but he's not there anymore. But let's see. There's I don't want to share too many photos, but there's some good. Here's another good one though. And this was.
Can you do me a favor? Pretty much, that this is going to air Monday morning at 8 a.m. Is there any way you could post a couple of these pictures about 9? Could you post them on Instagram? Would you?
I think I can do that.
Close.
Yeah, for sure.
Thanks, buddy. I just figured I'd ask.
This one's a good one, and I think we'll talk about this today. Okay. This is a photograph of the Employee of the Month, January 2007.
Right.
And there's the Employee of the Month.
Who's that guy?
Who's this handsome man with this mustache?
Who is that mustachioed master?
And there's the name right there.
Nice.
And so what's funny is there are some photos floating around of me in my really early Lego years, and I just have a mustache, and I get the whole creepy stash and all that stuff that people say. But when I started, the dress code was very strict.
Sure.
And for men, the rule was you can have a full mustache or you can have nothing. That was it. It was no beard. It was no facial hair, stubble. They said clean shaven, but you can have a mustache or you can have nothing. And
I thought that was a Southern thing because I had the same situation. I started working for the state of Florida in 2001, and they said you can have a mustache and 1 inch long sideburns.
And isn't that weird? Yeah. So it was the same. It was the same thing for us. And because I have Hispanic blood in me, so I think as soon as I turned 11, I started having facial hair. And so like I had just always had it. And so when I was told I had to get rid of some of it, I said, well, if I can have a mustache, I'll keep the mustache. Because like in my brain, that's me getting to keep something that I've had on my face. And so, I chose to keep the mustache. Of course, it wasn't a thing back then. Now, I get it. People look at those old photos, they go, Kevin, you look so creepy. That was the dress code. But all the old photos of me, it's just the stash. That's all I got.
There's a picture running around our house of me Christmas of 07 or 06. My wife cannot look at that picture. She hates it. She says, no, never again.
Unacceptable, right?
She doesn't mind a goatee. She loves the beard. Doesn't mind a goatee, but that mustache ain't happening.
Got to go.
Got to go.
So the last thing I'll show from the album, and I mean, there's lots of stuff in there, and I'll try to share some of the other ones, but Christmas cards. So my manager at that time at that store, she liked to do this thing where she would create a Christmas card like you do with your family, but it was only for the other Lego stores. So our Lego store would all get together, staff photo, take a picture, and then send a Christmas card to the other Lego stores. And I don't ever remember getting one back from any of the Lego stores. Maybe we did, and the manager kept it somewhere else. But there's a copy of one. I was trying to find the date on it, and of course there's no date on it, so that's awesome. But this is a Christmas card. It was sent to the other Lego stores. Season's greetings from Lego Outlet of Colorado Mills. And look at this beautiful staff. But wait a minute.
Dun dun dun.
There he is. And it's funny because in my hand, that's Lego Quattro.
Ooh.
So that is not Duplo. It's not System. This is a discontinued Lego building system that was even bigger than Duplo.
Yep.
And this was a kit. You can make like a car or something. This is like a wheel brick. Like it has a brick with wheels on it.
Oh.
And I thought it looked like robot eyes. And so I said, I'm gonna make a robot. So I made a robot, and then he kind of became the unofficial mascot of our store, only in my own brain. And I called him Steven. And so Steven was but this, ladies and gentlemen, this was the entire staff of that store. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Wow.
That is it. That's all. And on the back of it, when we sent this, we all signed it. So it had our signatures on it. And so there's my signature. It's still the same. If you go to my website, that's still my artist signature to this day. Mm-hmm. And I also signed it for Steven.
Oh, Steven.
So props, memories.
That's good stuff there. So what I'm if you haven't already figured out this, folks, by the way Kevin is, he's passionate. He loves Lego. He loved the Lego store. He loved the company. It seems like he was all in my opinion.
That's all I know how to do is if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it right. I'm going to go all into it. I don't half anything.
I don't think that's nice. What kind of water are you drinking? Is that purified? Is that just straight out the tap? What is it?
Straight out of the tap, man.
Straight out of the tap. Now, you guys on city or you got well water?
City.
Mm-hmm.
I had to think though for a second. I was like, wait.
Can't drink the Florida water. Sorry, it's too much chlorine in it.
Yeah, too much.
Yeah.
So, so we were talking about obviously being in the store in
Correct.
Colorado, and I was a key holding sales associate. So I was a sales associate with extra powers, but not extra pay. So just had an extra key.
Stole them from Hagrid.
I did. And you know, again, funny stories, and I love to tell stories. One of the things I forgot to mention last time, but that photo reminded me, is we had these giant sculptures, these brick built sculptures in our store, which again, in hindsight, was a pretty big deal because not every Lego store has giant sculptures in their store. And we were lucky because we had 3.
Nice.
So we had Hagrid, which was massive in the doorway. And this is old Harry Potter. This is yellow classic tone, not flesh tone.
Right.
Hagrid in the front, and we had Ron and we had Hermione. We never once had Harry. Harry was never in the store.
Well, what I heard is that Harry was too good for outlets. That's what I heard.
Well, the story they told us, which may have been smoke and mirrors, pun intended, is that the Harry model was actually touring around. And that nobody cared about the Ron and Hermione, so they just let us keep those.
Oh.
And I don't know if that's true because, I mean, later on in years, I found out that there was multiple Rons, multiple Hermiones, multiple Hagrids, multiple Harrys. I'm like, that's kind of weird. But we never had Harry. But those statues, as awesome as they were, did see a lot of abuse over the years. There's just something about cool Lego sculptures and teenagers that just want to destroy them. They just really do. And you know, not every teenager is the same.
Oh.
I love members of the T-fold community. I think they're awesome.
They sure are.
But for some reason,
helicopter in Australia.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Teenagers.
Yeah. And so that's how it is.
It is.
But yeah, so Ron, the sculpture of Ron had he was holding Scabbers, the mouse, and teenagers ripped the mouse's ears off over the years. And I mean, I saw this with my own eyes. It's not like speculation. Like you'd see a group of teenagers would come and they go, "How funny would it be if I rip this?" And they all they joke about it. They make a big display out of it. They they're trying to impress one another or whatever.
Right.
And you'll sit there and you just watch the whole activity unfold, and you go, yeah, you broke it. I mean, you announced you were going to break it. Then you broke it. Now you're laughing that you broke it. And then now who wins? I don't understand who.
Well, you got to understand they're from the Springs.
From the Springs. So Hagrid, he was right there in the front. He was prominent. He was massive. He was holding a ring of keys because that's what Hagrid holds. He has all the keys. So the statue has him holding this giant ring of keys with several keys hanging down. And that was never there. When I started working at that Lego store, Hagrid was never holding keys. I didn't know that he had keys because he was holding real tablecloth that was draped over his hands to kind of look like a coat. Or maybe like a coat or raincoat or something. I don't know. But there was no keys. Yeah. I remember looking through this photo album going, Hagrid has keys? That's weird. And so, of course, this made me inquire. I'm like, well, what's the story? So the way the master builders had built that model was they interlocked some of the keys with Hagrid's body to kind of lock it into place. So you have from the profile, you have Hagrid holding the ring of keys, the keys coming out, and the key heads coming towards Hagrid's body. Mm-hmm. So that way you can lock the bricks in, and it's a little bit more sturdy. So from what I heard before I worked there, a bunch of teenagers came and grabbed the keys by the between the ring and the head. That's the the middle of the key. They grabbed that whole group of them and put their leg up and just wanted to rip the whole thing off. I don't know why. Why is that fun to do? But they did it and they were successful. So they ripped off the keys. They broke Lego, they snapped parts off of it. And the part of it got all mangled up and ugly and stuff. But then the bottom, because that part was brick built into the Hagrid's body, remained. It was still there. So they took this thing off, and now the keys are gone. The ring is gone. But now Hagrid is standing there with his hands in the middle and this gray protrusion right at his crotch.
Nice.
That's a little weird, right?
That's a lot weird.
That's probably unsettling for a children's toy store.
I imagine so.
So the manager at the time made the call to say, we gotta hide this. And so they bought a big tablecloth, a gray kind of rustic tablecloth for him to hold, so that it looks like he has a coat. But I mean, every now and then, right, you'd always get like a curious dad, and he would like lift up that coat, like just to see. It was always funny, but these were really cool things. I mean, we totally took them for granted in the store because they were just there every day. But they were so awesome to have.
I have a question for that. And I know you weren't responsible, but at some point you made it up the chain in that store, correct?
Right.
And this isn't a leading question to that yet, but my question for you is this: you're an artist and you're creative. Why didn't you just fix it with a brick?
Yeah, I don't know. I want to say, with you saying that, there was probably a day where that thought came to my mind.
Sure, I'm sure.
But never acted upon it. It just didn't. It didn't. Just never acted upon it. But
poor Hagrid.
But yeah, poor Hagrid.
Poor Hagrid.
But the funny thing is, I remember, I talked about last time how how does this wall work? That question. The other question was, how many pieces are in that statue? That was the other, like, oh man. So 63,270. That number will be forever burned in my brain.
I haven't counted them.
Because how many pieces? 63,270. 63,270. 63,000. And it's funny because when the store first opened, there's a little like built-in podium next to Hagrid. Mm-hmm. So he had like a very short glass like receptacle around him. Sure. Not that it would stop you from touching him. I mean, you could touch the model if you want, but there was a built-in little podium next to it with it was made for a contest. So you could guess how many pieces are in the model. Oh. Because I guess when the store opened, that number was not disclosed. So you had to guess, and there was like a little, like a slot where you could throw things into it, and a little spot for a pen, and little like notepads. Sure. But when I started, I mean, that contest was years gone.
I was about to say, did the Christensens win that too?
They were our best customers.
They were because
So we had, over the years, we repurposed that thing for different reasons. I loved it because there was that slot that you could put entries in. So of course, people put trash in it all day, every day.
That's what it is. Trash can.
Yeah, I mean, there wasn't anything to properly put in there anymore. But I mean, it's now this slot on this podium next to a giant statue. So what do you put? You put your gum, you put your trash. I was like, this is not what this is for, people.
Thanks, teenagers. No.
But he was really cool. It was so cool to have him. He was there for a long time. He did eventually get decommissioned. Oh. So the Harry Potter license, as we all know, or most of us know, it did go away. There was a period of time where there was no more Lego Harry Potter license, and it has recently come back a couple years ago with the Dimensions. Yeah. But for a time, there was no Harry Potter license, so that was kind of a point of contention with consumers. Like, where's your Harry Potter sets? Well, we don't have a Harry Potter license. You have a giant sculpture in the front of your store that seems a little weird. So Hagrid he was built to be a part of that store. Yeah. Like his little stand thing was bolted to the floors. Oh yeah. Ron and Hermione, you could move them around. I mean, they were heavy, but they had like the big circular metal stand, and you could move them around if you needed to. Oh, yeah. Hagrid was built to be in that store. And so there was a time where a couple like construction people had to come in, and they were like hacking it apart. I remember he came apart in the middle. It's like the top part was like just put on the floor. Like little pieces were flying off, like little chunks and stuff were. And then it all got shipped away to be destroyed. I mean, the model was already damaged. It had been damaged with the keys and all the other stuff. And then it was just, got to a point where you looked and there was just this empty in the front where you'd seen Hagrid for years and years, and you're just like, oh, he's gone.
I miss Hagrid.
I miss Hagrid. But those were really cool parts of our store that were unique to us. It kind of made up for the concrete floors and the ugly walls and stuff like that. But
8-foot Hagrid.
Yeah,
it wasn't the elephant in the room. It was the Hagrid in the room.
He was the Hagrid in the room. Yeah. But but yeah, it was cool. And I mean, of course, you know, he was really cool, and a lot of people took pictures and stuff. But of course, there was so many stupid things that came with that too, like kids like, "Hey, what are you gonna do if I knock that over?" I was like, first of all, you're not gonna knock it over. I think you highly underestimate how much that weighs.
Right.
But I mean, it was just, I remember so many evenings, late evenings, with teenagers roaming the mall, and
Yeah.
it's like, I'm gonna impress my girlfriend by shouting at the sales associate guy in the store something about what I'm gonna do, like, "Hey, dude, I'm gonna kick this over." Like, I remember, so I'm like, go for it. Just, I have these memories of standing at the register because there's no one in the store, and I'm like, be my guest, knock it over. Uh, but yeah, and I remember, you know, now that I'm thinking about this, in our mall in Colorado Mills, probably like many other malls, we had a KB Toys in there too,
Oh yeah.
and that was like right across from us. So we had, where we had Build-A-Bear Workshop directly to one side of us, and then kind of diagonal from us, we had KB Toys.
That sounds like the greatest mall in the world. Are you sure you guys weren't in the Springs?
We, you're catching on
I'm getting it.
real fast.
Get
Yeah, so it was a decent mall. It was a decent mall. But yeah, I remember when I was working at that Lego store when the KB Toy Store was going out of business.
Oh,
And I remember like walking out on my break and going over to their closing sale, and I bought some of the old Star Wars Lego sets that had you push down on the head and the lightsaber would light up.
oh
If you
yeah.
remember those.
That's
So there was like the clone turbo tank with Mace Windu, the TIE Fighter or TIE Advance with Darth Vader,
sure.
and they had some basketball sets too, like NBA sets, which we did too, but they had it on discount. And so here's another interesting fact: the discounting structure, because I'm sure that's very appealing to people. I'm a Lego fan. I want to work at a Lego store because I want to get a discount on Lego.
Heck yeah.
And of course, yes, there is a discount like many places would give you. But back then, it was a little odd. It was different.
Oh my.
So as a store employee, you would get 30% off of your purchase all the time. Like that was your discount. But 4 times a year, 1 time per quarter, you would get 50% off of your purchase.
Oh.
Now, what makes that interesting is that, unbeknownst to us lowly store employees, everybody else in the company always got 50% off. So we had no idea. I mean, we didn't find this out till years and years and years later. But it was kind of interesting going like, wait a minute. So nonetheless, in the store, we didn't really spend a lot on Lego very often because we were always waiting for the next 50% off day. Like that was a common discussion, was, what are you buying on the next 50 off day? Like that would be a thing you would talk about with your colleagues and your friends and stuff like that. So that was just, kind of, it was interesting. It was different.
Sure.
So we weren't, like I said, I'd walk over to KB Toys to buy stuff because I wasn't really buying a lot of stuff because it wasn't a 50% off day. So it's like, oh, look, they have that at 50% off. So it was kind of interesting. That didn't change until several years later. I mean, it actually didn't even change until I wasn't at all working in retail anymore.
Oh,
like
wow.
I was working in corporate when they finally said, you know what? All Lego employees should all get the same discount.
They
like,
really should.
That's probably a good idea.
I gotta ask. So did you find yourself putting that one set away in the back and leaving it there so you could get it on the 50% day?
So yeah, it was usually what would happen is when you got close, like a day or two away, people are like, can I hold that? That started to happen.
I got it.
This was still in 2006, 2007. I mean, sales were going up,
Sure.
but not 2014 level, 2015. Like, no.
Gotcha.
Like, so there was never like a fear that if an employee put something on site, oh my goodness, no one will get it. Like that, not even a thing.
Yeah.
But of
I
course,
see it. Yeah. I remember the mad dashes for all of the Lego sets.
yeah. So I mean, there was still, of course, somewhat of an irrational fear, like, oh my goodness, if I don't put one aside, they'll be gone by the time 50% off day comes.
Sure.
Totally unbased, like unfounded. It'll be there, but we still did it.
Do you
So
remember
we would,
your first 50% off? I'm sorry for cutting you off.
no.
What was your? Are you going there or are you?
I wasn't. That's a good question.
I died.
So,
What your first 50% set was?
If I remember correctly, it was actually a bunch of stuff, like a bunch of smaller things.
Bunch of stuffs.
I remember that they had, when I came on, they had just switched the uniform from the original Lego store uniform. So that the very first uniform that employees wore working in a Lego store was a dark navy blue polo with a very tiny Lego logo embroidered on like the upper chest. It was a short sleeve and a long sleeve. That was the very first uniform that Lego employees would wear in brand retail. They had just phased out of that, and when I came on board, we were wearing the yellow polos with the Lego logo embroidered, much bigger.
Right.
That one still, to my opinion, that was the nicest uniform out of all the lineage of uniforms. And because of that, all of the older Navy uniforms that were still sealed, still packaged up and everything, they decided, I don't know if this was just an outlet thing. There's a lot of things that were just an outlet thing.
Yeah.
They decided to sell them. They said, well, let's just sell these things. So they were on like hangers. And so I do remember one of my first 50% off days was I wanted to buy one of those first uniforms because I thought it was cool. So I bought one of those. I know that. I think I bought a CD-ROM game, like Lego Chess or something. Because there was a couple of those. I bought some keychains. Like I bought a bunch of stuff. I remember buying a bunch of like things.
Right.
I bought some keychains. I bought, I think, X-Pods, if that seems familiar. They came in like these big pods, and it would make like a little. It was like Creator, basically, make a little robot or a little dinosaur or a thing. I think in the photo album there is a picture of me wearing the navy blue outfit. Let me find that, and then I will.
Can't wait to see that.
Just to give some context, because I remember looking at it. Stand by. Let's see here. It is. Sorry, I know this is not super interesting. Just me flipping through pages that you can't see. Here we go. This photo. Again, trying not to be reflective. Me doing something. I don't know, something funny for a photo. But this is like a navy blue long sleeve shirt. You can see a Lego logo. There's a name tag, which is exactly like the name tags that the employees wear at Legoland. So it's all made out of plates and tiles, and then a button of some kind. And that was a different uniform, but that was something I bought on one of my first 50% off days. And I probably bought just some smaller sets. I really don't think I bought anything like really big of value. I think one of my first big sets I bought on 50% off day was the first Sandcrawler, like the first big Sandcrawler that had that C-3PO that had the weird milky gold look to it.
I'm a fan.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a different thing.
You talk a lot about Star Wars, man. Are you like, is that your niche or is that your pick a theme now?
If Western, it's always going to be Western. Right. But I'm a Star Wars fan. I like Star Wars, and I don't really kind of consider myself as one of those Star Wars collectors. I have to have all the Lego Star Wars sets because I really don't. I have far from all the Lego Star Wars sets. I only buy Lego Star Wars sets that I think are really cool, and that tends to be a couple from every wave.
I got you.
Like that one's cool. That one's cool. Don't need I don't think I have a single solo set. I don't think I have a single of the last couple, the newer movies.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I've bought any of those.
I got the popsicle.
The popsicle.
I got the space popsicle, the Ray's speeder.
Oh, yeah. It is. Yeah. Now I got it.
I tell you,
Um,
I'm gonna put my 2 cents in while you drink that water. I tell you, I firmly believe, and I do respect and like the Star Wars line. I am a
mhm.
Star Wars fan. I'm not as up to date on Star Wars information. Like I don't know everybody's name. I don't know everybody's what they're driving.
Right.
I call an AT an AT-AT because it's fun for me.
That's fine.
But here's the thing. I believe with all of my heart, you can't sit there. Okay, I know how iconic Star Wars is. Lego has put out over 600 sets, and in the roughly the same time, and I know they lost a license. They have only put out about 70 Harry Potter sets,
Yep.
and I believe the Star Wars is overkill, and they needed to. And the early Harry Potters are just garbage, and they really needed to. They needed quality over quantity then, and they just didn't understand it. But that's just how I feel
Sure.
as an animal. I do love the Star Wars sets, and I respect the guys who do the full-on collections.
Absolutely.
I your thing is your thing, and I love the fact that you like gray.
I agree wholeheartedly. If that's your thing,
Yeah.
all power to you. Enjoy.
Nobody's here to hear me put my 2 cents in. Sorry, everybody.
It means something to me.
Thank you, Kevin. Hey, sorry for interrupting. But
No. So yeah, I'm definitely not a huge Star Wars fan, but yeah, the Sandcrawler was, and also I tend to, in terms of Lego sets, I tend to sway towards the original trilogy sets. Not that I have anything against, like I loved all the movies. I have not watched a Star Wars movie that I just rage hate. I'm fine with episodes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, Clone Wars.
I am also a true fan of all.
It's all good to me. It's all Star Wars.
Star Wars. I like to watch it. Now I will say that I don't do any of the shows. I'm strictly a movie guy, but
Sure.
I Star Wars.
Yeah, so I'm like, I would say in the level of Star Wars fandom,
Mm-hmm.
I would probably be like the next step up because I do all the shows too, but I don't do the books
Mm-hmm.
or the comics or the like PC games and stuff like that. Like the only Star Wars game I've ever played is I played Super Star Wars on the Super Nintendo.
There it is.
Where Luke just runs and just and he gets the lightsaber in the very first level, which makes no sense. And then that's exactly, and then Rogue Squadron for Nintendo 64. Those are the only Star Wars games I've ever played.
Look at you.
But those are like dedicated Star Wars fans are like the books, the comics, the games, the movies, the shows, like
I'm
the
over.
Yeah.
And I respect people like that, and each person's got their own thing. But I am a fan of Star Wars to the point of I know the storyline, and I get excited to watch it every time I watch it, even the first one. And by the first one, I'm talking about episode 1.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I cannot wait to let my son watch all the episodes according to their numbers.
Right, like 1 through, you know, the thing for me, because my kids obviously are now going through this, right? And my older son saw them in the right number, like numerical number. But like I can't, like I feel so conflicted because I cannot articulate the feeling of watching 4, 5, and 6, 1, 2, and then you get to the last 30 minutes of 3.
Yeah.
And it's like you are watching this giant puzzle come, and it's just, oh my goodness. I mean, and they hit you like this. They're like, oh, hey, you know, those droids that are in the next movies, this is why. Oh, hey, that Death Star, that's happening. Oh, hey, you remember he was the bad guy? The good guy's now the bad guy. And it's just like that last, like, they just do this, and I'm like, it's like,
by the way, spoilers, everyone. Sorry.
Vader is Luke's father. It's all ruined, but it's just like I can't. It is like episode 3 is my favorite out of them so far because I just can't. Like, there's a lot of great stuff in episode 3, but just that everything comes together.
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
What
man,
is your favorite episode of Star Wars? I know we're talking Lego and we're talking about Lego and Hinkle, but we all have our own love. So put it in the comments below. Tell us what your favorite episode is. I'm torn between God Almighty. My top three are 3, 3.5, and 6. Yeah, that's me, baby, all day, all day.
so you got to get the Jabba laugh in there.
Yeah, but yeah,
nice.
3.5 made me happy.
Awesome.
I like how they based the whole movie on one line.
Yeah, those are the best. Those are those one-liners, you know.
Yeah. A lot of good people died to bring you this information.
That was a good movie, though. I like that movie a lot.
Look at us,
Cassian,
Star Wars.
Welcome,
nerd, ladies.
Welcome to Forever Star Wars. That's our other spinoff show.
Oh.
Yeah, I was about to start doing a sound effects, but I'll stop.
You're on camera. They don't know that I don't have a real lightsaber in my hand.
Yeah, don't hurt yourself. Don't touch it. So yeah, so that's whatever I was talking about before. Yeah, discounts. So we get discounts in the store.
I want some discounts. I love it.
Yeah. So what's interesting is when I got to, so I'm still a sales associate. So we're talking about back to my career lineage.
Yes, please.
And as I mentioned, I'm in school full time. I'm also, trying to do my best to provide for my family.
Doing what's right.
Doing what you got to do.
That's it, man.
And
grinding. That's what I call it. You grinding.
You grind. And
doing one thing.
My family was, very supportive. Like not my immediate family, like my wife, but my parents and all that. They were also being helpful because the thing is Lego wasn't paying the bills. Lego was paying me money, but it wasn't paying the bills. And so, they were helping out a little bit every month here and there. And it got to a point where something had to give. And so I said, you know what, I have to get another job. Like it's not gonna, it is what it is. I have to get another job. So in 2000, maybe it was 2007, or maybe earlier, 2006. I could find it if I looked in, but I applied for and got a job working at Walmart.
That's because they'll hire anyone. Sorry.
Because and I applied and there it was. I did not stop working for Lego. I remained, and I got the glorious position of overnight stalker.
That is the dream. I'm going to cut Kevin off just so you guys know that I worked at Walmart for 2.5 years as an overnight stalker, and I really enjoyed my job.
Don't you love? Maybe you have a different, because I was only there for 4 months, but everybody that works overnight blames everybody that works during the day.
Yes.
And everybody that works during the day blames everybody that works overnight. For
sure, without a doubt. Those damn stalkers on the night, that truck crew.
And I thought it was so I had a weird way of going about it because for me it was purely money.
Yeah.
My Lego job was not giving me enough money to pay my bills without having to rely on help and handouts from my parents and my family. Mm-hmm. And so I needed another job. I needed more money, but I had in my mind, I had a job. It's this is my extra job. And so I kind of floated at it aloof. So I never got really invested into the politics in Walmart and and there's a lot. There's so much. And so it kind of put me in a weird observational perspective.
Sure.
Because that's interesting. So I remember the whole night versus day, and I was just that's so fascinating that they hate each other. Because it seemed like they hated each other. I was man, both crews just. And the other thing I loved is that anytime there was a celebratory thing, we hit a goal, we got cake for you all. You would come in for your overnight shift, which was 11 to 7, 11 at night till 7 in the morning, and there would be all the remnants of the cake.
Yeah.
And so you go, what is this? And they go, oh, the management bought us all cakes because we hit a safety goal. Yeah. I'm oh, that's nice.
Split. Yeah.
Where's the cake? They go, oh, we are the day crew already all ate it. Oh,
Okay. Yeah.
Well, this
Yeah.
was a nice, what was that frosting on the? I mean, it was just all the time, like all the time. And I have to admit, they did do this often, which is cool. Like, oh, we got you all cakes, or we got you all cookies, or
Mhm.
we did barbecue. It's all hot dogs.
Enjoy
But
the ham. No.
but every time you came in as a night stalker or night crew, it's all gone.
Yeah.
It's these empty trays, these empty platters, these empty like the foil. You're
Mm,
like, well, it was nice that you thought of half your store staff.
sure enough.
So I started working at Walmart. Again, for those playing the home game, I'm working at Lego,
Mhm.
listed as part time, but working full time hours. Full time college student, but I usually was able to condense all my classes into like all day Tuesday, all day Thursday, half day Friday. And now I've added Walmart Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday night, 11 to 7. Um, this was a point in my life where we were finally like totally financially stable. I was like, we had no issues with money.
Mhm.
Didn't have to ask for help. I was like, we got all of our bills paid, but I was like dying. Like during the weekend, I was like, I was living on Monster energy drinks and like a Rockstar in it, which I will never touch again in my life. But when I was doing that, this was also a point in my life where I had never drank coffee.
Wow.
Never had coffee in my life. The first time I had coffee, which will probably be in 10 or 15 episodes from now, was the first time I went to Denmark. But
Ooh.
I needed something. I was like, I'm falling asleep. Like my body is not meant to be awake at 4 a.m. And so they were like, drink energy drinks. And I was like, fine. And I mean, it was bad, man. You probably know, like I could not function
Yeah.
unless I had like Rockstar and, the big cans, and they're awful for you. And you start doing that like every day for 3 days in a row for a certain number of weeks. Like it started like, I get like weird, like chest problems and stuff.
Yep.
I'm like, am I dying? It's like that meme with the doctor and the butterfly. Is this death? Like, is this what this is?
Oh, yeah.
But so I was there at Walmart, and I worked in the HBA, the health and beauty.
AIDS. I know.
You got it right.
46 and 2.
Bam, high five, boop. And so, hey, stocking deodorant and toothpaste and shaving cream, and everyone's favorite, the giant basket full of the hair dyes.
Sure.
So it's like, here you go, put all these hair dyes out.
Like,
And it was super low responsibility. It's like, here's your stuff, put your stuff on the shelf, and then you go home. And what was really kind of extra rough on me was this was also when I did this, it was starting to get near the holiday time. So it was like that Augusty, September-y time.
Oh,
And so the other thing, I mean, I don't know how I lived to this day, but that is when the time of the year when the malls extend their holiday hours. So the mall was cranking up the hours. And so there was, when we got to like December's the worst. Like if you guys don't know, again, props to those retail employees, because the malls will slowly creep those hours later and later and later and later when it gets closer to Christmas. It gets to the point where stores are open to like 11 o'clock at night in a mall. And I mean, that's employees that are there till 11 o'clock at night or midnight because they have to close it down. So when we got to December, because I was at Lego and at Walmart during December, I would literally finish my shift in my Lego yellow polo, close the store down. I was a key holding associate. I would go to the bathroom, put on my blue Walmart vest over my yellow Lego polo. I would go out, clock out, drive to Walmart, clock in. Like it was because the mall was open so late.
wow.
And like I had no break between the two. And it was rough. I mean, it was rough on me, like physically, and it was rough on my wife. I mean, she was like, I remember when I had a husband, and I mean, she felt bad too. She's like, I don't want you to have to do this, but it was really actually I don't regret it because I learned a lot from that.
Sure.
About like how does Walmart handle their business? What is their approach to visual merchandising? What is their approach to shift management and stuff like that? And during Christmas, which I mean, if you were there long enough that you probably worked through Christmas, a couple Christmases.
I think it was 2 Christmases there, and then another at a furniture store.
Yeah. So see, when in a Walmart setting, unless they've changed it, when it gets to Christmas, all of a sudden all the shipments, it seems like they start teetering down, and then toys skyrocket.
Sure
So
enough.
like toys will be like, well, we have 27 pallets of toys tonight, and it's like that is a little bit above average. And so like it almost is like everybody becomes a toy stalker during Christmas.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you'll keep like a skeleton crew, and so I shifted to toys, and so I did HBA most of my time there. But when it got to like November, December, they're like, Kevin, we want you in toys because everyone's in toys, but you seem to like this Lego stuff, so you do like the construction aisle. And so it was kind of neat because I was working the Lego aisle at Walmart during the night when I was working at the Lego store. And so,
Oh my goodness.
I mean, it's kind of cool, but kind of weird.
A lot of Lego.
I had one moment that I thought was kind of cool, but also kind of super dorky, where this lady who was shopping for a Christmas gift, and of course most Walmarts are 24/7. That's why it doesn't matter. It's like 3:00 in the morning, but a lady's shopping for a gift. And she had a question about Lego, and I was there and I heard it. And the what is it? The department manager, because there's like a manager of each section.
Yeah.
The toy department manager was helping her out, and he was totally off base with everything he was saying. Because she had a Lego question, and he was like going off and I was like, I can't let this lady not get a correct answer. So I said, again, professional, courteous. I wasn't rude. I was like, actually, I think I was like on the floor putting like sets away or something. I was like, actually, and I said whatever the answer was. And the guy was like, how do you know that? And I had my vest on because this was classic Walmart where you just throw the blue vest on. That's all.
I had a blue vest.
And I was like, actually, sir, I work for Lego. And I opened it and it had like the Lego logo on my polo. And he was like, really? And I was like, yeah. And so then I gave the lady like the correct answer. And of course, afterwards, he's like, hey, classic Walmart management. He was like, I appreciate that, but don't ever do that in front of a customer again. I was like,
sure.
give her the assistance that she needed.
Correct answer that you don't know.
It was, classic. But,
look bad.
But again, I was kind of in this weird aloof. I was like, or whatever. Okay. I mean, this isn't my real job.
I'm just hanging out and you're paying me.
Right. I mean, that was kind of it. So that was four, and in all, that was, we're probably at 3 months. We're 3 months into Walmart. And I mean, it was weighing heavily on me. I was like I said, I was dying.
Yeah.
And I think the assistant manager of this overall store, Walmart, started taking an interest in me, and she's like, "Wow, like you do good stuff." And I'm like, "I just do my job. Like that's all.
To be here. Let me do me and leave me alone."
Yeah. And she was like, "I'd like to maybe," and I can't remember the title of it, but it was the person who was in charge of the overnight stalkers. I don't remember what it was.
Support manager, maybe.
Support manager sounds really familiar. That's probably it.
Yeah. Receiving manager. I don't know. We had a support manager. It was sales associate, support manager, who was just the crap catchers. Then it was assistant manager, and then it was store manager.
I'm pretty sure it was support manager then.
Yeah.
So she pulled me aside once, and she goes, our support manager is going to be transferring to a different location, so we're in need of a new support manager, and we've been talking about you. And I was like, I mean, I really didn't try to like, I didn't try to like make myself known at Walmart. Like I was just doing my job.
Right.
Like there was, I mean, a normal Walmart has like hundreds of employees, like
Sure.
I don't know, 200, 300 employees. And so I'm like, really like, okay. And I mean, I'm also this college kid, I'm pretty young compared to a lot of the other people there.
Right.
I was like, okay. And she's like, so we want to start training you now to be like the support manager for the night crew. And I was like, okay. And she goes, I mean, of course that's going to come with a pay raise. And I was like, okay. I mean, I was probably half asleep.
Right.
Yeah. And so I don't remember what it was, but it was higher than what I was getting. And I mean, what I was making at Walmart was already a little bit higher than what I was making at Lego.
Yeah. Well,
What's that?
I said shame on Lego.
Well, when you talk to people at Lego, they'll tell you no one works at Lego for the money. That's
Yeah.
not why they work there. But and of course when you do or from what I've been told is when you do the overnight at Walmart, they give you $1 just because it's overnight.
I
I don't know.
50 cents. I'm glad they changed it.
Okay, and I mean it could be a state to state thing.
Yeah.
But,
I want to just to let the record show, I started working at Walmart at 19 years old, and I started at $5 an hour overnights.
nailed it. It's the dream.
I mean, it's cool.
It's so good. So yeah, they had told me at that Colorado location, they're like, well, because you're an overnight, we give you an extra $1 just because. So I was already getting more than I was making at Lego. And they said, we're going to give you this much, but we need you to be fully committed. Like you need to stop being part-time and you need to be full-time Walmart. And I was like, I can't do a third full-time. I was like, I'm about to die. So it was finally like moment of truth number 1 in Kevin's Lego career. And so I went back to my store and I talked to my store manager and I said, look, here's the deal. I like it here. I really do. I enjoy it. I enjoy the product. I enjoy the brand. I think it's really cool. And I would love to stay here.
Mm-hmm.
You're not paying me enough money. Like, I'm just sorry, you're not. I'm working at Walmart, as you know. I'm doing that part-time to make extra money. They are interested in moving me up and giving me more. I have not given them an answer. They want me to give them an answer, but I'm actually coming to you first and saying, if there is anything you can do to help meet me at what they're offering me, I wasn't even asking for a promotion. I just said, if you can somehow, hit something close for me,
Mm-hmm.
I'll consider leaving Walmart and just being 100% committed to Lego.
Absolutely.
And she was like, okay, well, we have to think it over. I have to talk to the district manager. And I was like, okay, like no rush, no hurry. And I won't be offended either way.
Yeah.
But I mean, this is where I'm at and I need you to know where I'm at. And that's just, and I didn't know, I kind of thought that would kind of be the end of Lego because I'm like, I don't know. They're probably not going to be able to, because I mean, this was dollars more.
Yeah. And then the man, the myth, the legend would be Walmart associate extraordinaire. The hero of Walmart.
Roll back them prices.
Baby.
So yeah, so she came back a couple days later.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was a couple days. And I was actually very surprised. And she goes, we don't want to lose you.
Yeah.
Because we really like what you do and your energy, whatever. Stuff was said. And she goes, we would like to offer you a raise, but also we want to offer you a promotion with the raise. And I was like, that was not expected.
Yeah, I don't want I'll go to Walmart.
Yeah, and so it's like, I'm done. And so they offer me the role of store supervisor, which is, to my knowledge, still a role that exists today in all the stores. You can be a supervisor. That's the next level up.
Support manager at Walmart.
It's
exactly the same equation.
Nice. And so that was offered to me. I did get a raise, and with the raise, it wasn't substantial,
right?
But with the raise, it equaled out to kind of what I was getting currently with Lego and Walmart, where I wasn't so stressed.
Mm-hmm.
So it was kind of what was really uncomfortable. Is then I went back to Walmart and I said, "Okay, first of all, I'm flattered. Second of all,
it's me.
Second of all, I'm quitting." It was like they're asking me if I'm interested in learning a new thing and being promoted, getting a raise, and they say, take your time and think about it. And I come back and instead of saying, sure, I say, I'm actually leaving altogether.
You guys are great. Bye.
I mean, it's kind of awkward. It's super awkward. But I did. And I left there. But I mean, there was a lot of, like I said, there was a lot of cool things I learned there. One of the other things I learned is again, it could change. It could be different store to store, state to state, location to location. But the blatant disregard for like street dates by Walmart was amazing. Because again, I was in the toy section and I remember cutting open the box on like the mosaic sets.
Mm-hmm.
And it would say, do not shelf until, and I'm like, hey, sir, I can't put these out. And he's like, I don't care what that says. Open that up and put it on the, and I was like, but you realize like, I can't, like, I remember one time I was like, it says on here, I can't shelve. And he goes, he's like, well, says who? And I was like, again, I'm like, says this company that I work for during the day.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, you work at this company right now, so put it on that. I was like, okay, whatever. Here we go. So, you know, and there were, of course, in typical Walmart shenanigans, when I did quit, the night crew completely 100% shrink wrapped my car.
God bless them.
So that happened.
Yeah.
I remember walking out that last morning and
Yes.
I'm exhausted. And it was my last day. And I just stopped. And I said, is that my car?
Yes, it was.
And it was 100. Like, I mean, even the bottom. Like, you know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm talking about. I am guilty. It did happen.
I was like, oh. And I also, that night, my last night, I went to work with a bag of about 100 Lego keychains that I just bought for. I was like, here, something to remember me by.
Aww.
And so I was giving out Lego keychains and of course, everyone, like, I went outside and they all had their keychains and they're like, thanks, Kev. Have fun unwrapping your car. I was like, you guys are all terrible people.
I got my issued box cutter and go to town.
Yeah. So, but that was a very, you know, interesting chapter of my life. And that's how I got promoted. That was my first promotion at Lego, which was at the beginning an ultimatum of I got to leave or I need more money.
All right, Lego, it's you or me. You decide.
So that happened.
Nice. Now, you were looking at, we were going through those pictures, and I don't know if you read my text. Okay. We were going through, you went through those pictures, and I want you, if you want to, I want you to want, no, that's not it. I would like to know how it is that you came about becoming the Employee of the Month.
So I had the foresight to get this prop ready. This is my actual award.
Oh,
so this is Lego Brand Retail Employee of the Month for January 2007. So the district manager at the time, and this person who is all three of these people aren't at Lego anymore.
Oh my!
But this is the Global Operations Director, which that role doesn't exist anymore at Lego. But this was so the interesting thing about this is the Employee of the Month program that Lego ran was a little bit different. It wasn't like there was an employee in every store. It was actually across all locations.
Oh wow!
So across
22 stores, or were there more than 22 at the point that you became Employee of the Month?
No, not in 2007. They hadn't started opening them yet. Wow. I think it was 2008, maybe late 2008, maybe 2009. No, I think it was 2008 is when they finally started opening stores. And the first two stores they opened, one of them was in Chandler, Arizona, and the other one was in like a suburb of Houston, Texas. And then they went through an explosive growth after that, where there were stores popping up everywhere. But so this was still kind of that 20-ish, 22 store. I think some had closed. But across all locations, there was one Employee of the Month per month for an entire year. For all of 2007.
Wow.
And this was, something new that they were trying to do to get, satisfaction up and all that. So the way it worked, from what I was told, because I was not in management at that time,
sure,
was that the store manager of each location had to write up an essay, basically an essay, saying who in your store deserves this award and why.
Okay.
And the corporate folks, whoever that is, would look through all of them and pick one for every month. So what I was told, again, this is all just from what I was told, it could be totally different. But my manager told me that the year prior, because that was January of 2007, so in 2016, they decided, or 2006, sorry, 2006.
No.
We're jumping decades, folks. In 2006, they rolled out for some reason then they had a desire in pushing product knowledge. I don't know why. That was the year they said, we need to push product knowledge more. So they created a spiral bound kind of guide, like a cheat sheet almost, to like Lego history, Lego knowledge, current themes, some of the old classic themes. I mean, not like a very robust guide, but decent one.
Cliff notes for the history of Lego.
Right. and they kind of reset everybody. So they said everybody that's currently working at a store needs to read this. They all need to sign off that they've read it. And there was like a quiz at the end. And again, this is not digital. This is like paper still. So there was like everyone had a little quiz and they had to answer the multiple choice questions and submit it. And so I think I mentioned this in an earlier episode. Like I put a huge emphasis on product knowledge because I wanted to do my job well.
Absolutely.
So when I got that the notebook, I read through it.
No, I'm kidding.
What?
I said the movie, the Notebook.
Yeah, no. So when I got the guide thing they handed out, took it home, read through it. I went back, I don't know, the next day or 2 days later, whatever. And I gave it to my manager. I go, here's the book. Mm-hmm. I went in there and I scratched out everything that was wrong. And I put all the right stuff in it. And like I fixed some of the errors. And I don't know if you want me to explain any of that so that you could send it to corporate. I'm just sharing it because if this is an emphasis, I want to make sure they're giving people the right information because this is not the right information.
Goodness.
And she was like, are you being for real? I was like, why would I lie?
Yeah.
And so she did. She submitted it to them and they did say, oh, wow, we did make some errors. And they switched it around and changed it based on the stuff I told them. And so they think the thing she wrote in there was like, I think Kevin deserves to be employee of the month because he corrected your training materials. Like something like that, you know? And they liked it. And so I was awarded the first ever Lego Brand Retail Employee of the Month award. The district manager, who was the other gentleman in the photo I showed, the bald guy, not me, he came all the way to the store, which was actually a big deal back then. Like we did not have frequent visits by our district manager. That was not at all.
Nothing but a little outlet store.
I mean, the West Coast store, the real West Coast stores had visits all the time.
Sure.
We were Colorado. We were out of the way. So, I mean, he probably came once every 6 months, I guess.
Wow.
And so he flew all the way out just to visit with me. We took the photo. He gave me the award. This is the actual award he handed me. It is getting a little gross and dingy being in my basement. We got to fix that. But this is the real award, hand signed, not a printout. All the signatures are printed on the paper. And he took me to lunch. I remember that was the thing. And again, you know, me and whatever, it's kind of cool. Like my district manager flew all the way from where he was. He took me to the food court and bought me food. We sat and we had a whole conversation. He asked me about life and everything like that. And they also, Lego gave me a check. So I got like an extra check that I want to say it was $200. That's what I want to say. I think it was $200. But it was a special, and they did the calculation so that they added it up so that the taxes deducted would equal exactly $200.
Oh, okay.
So they said you'll get $200. They meant you'll really get $200. Like they you know what I mean? Like they do the things where it's more so that when the taxes are deducted, you get a check for $200.
Correct.
And I thought that was really cool. And so I had a check from Lego for $200. I had an award. My district manager flew out to see me, gave it to me in person, took me out to lunch. And so that was really awesome. So through the rest of the year, there was somebody else from a different store in February, someone from a different store in March, and the whole rest of the year. Then when it was all said and done, the managers had to resubmit the person they had submitted and tell them why that person should be employee of the year.
Wow.
So one of those people was going to be taken to be employee of the year. The interesting thing is at that time, the difference a year can make. I was a little bit at ends with my manager at that time. So unfortunately, Kevin was a little bit like Icarus and was trying to fly a little closer to the sun.
I understand.
So here's the deal. Like as you've mentioned, I go all in. If it's my job, I'm going to go all in. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it to the best of my ability. And my manager wasn't. So you know, and after 2005, 2006, 2007, I was starting to get a little fed up with like things like that. And so I was starting to be a little bit more snippy with her. I was like starting to call her out on certain things because I just thought that wasn't appropriate.
You had a comment.
I'm like, you're the manager. Like, why are you doing that? Like, you know, like, why are you leaving early every day? Why are you coming in late just stuff like that. Was it appropriate? No. I mean, I'm not a supervisor. I shouldn't be but Kevin is Kevin, and
you were key carrying sales.
No, I wasn't a supervisor then. I was a supervisor.
Well, there you go.
But I was I was being problematic because I was voicing concerns over things, and my manager didn't appreciate it. She didn't like being called out on not being a really well-in manager. And so, of course, when that time came to say, well, why should Kevin be? She did not even submit one for me saying that why I should be. She's like, I don't remember who that is. So it's okay. I was never in the running for Employee of the Year. I mean, I was, but I wasn't in the. It wasn't gonna happen. The person who did win is a really awesome guy by the name of Joshua. I don't remember his last name, but he worked in the Atlanta store, the other outlet store.
Oh yeah,
and he went on to be the master model builder of the Legoland Discovery Center in Atlanta, which is super cool. And so I don't know if he's still there.
Yeah.
But I remember kind of because all of us in the Employee of the Month kind of club, we kind of started talking to each other and stuff like that. So I remember
a dozen, if you would.
So we started keeping up with each other and seeing like where people were going and stuff like that. So, but yeah, so I did not win Employee of the Year. I know the Employee of the Year did have a pretty big financial prize. I think it was like a check for $1,000 or something.
Nice. Say 1,000, they mean 1,000.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I didn't get that. But that was a really cool thing. I still have the award. It still means a lot to me.
Absolutely.
When I moved to corporate, I still had this on my desk up to the day I left corporate. And people would make fun of me. They're like, really? And I'm like, because that meant something to me. Like I won that, it was they never did it again. So I don't know why, but they ended that program at the end of 2007. They never ran it again. I think some of the stores might have done their own kind of individual things. I know that we tried to do something in Austin when I was the manager there, which is episodes later.
Right.
But we did our own like store Employee of the Month thing. Yeah. But as an organization, they never did another program like that.
You guys, Lego, if you're watching, and we know you are,
we know.
Bring it back. Your employees need recognition.
It means a lot. It does. It means quite a bit.
I remember I made Employee of the Month on around the same time. I think it was May of 2007. And I'll tell you post-show what I had to do to get it.
This is always a great lead in.
Yeah. But yeah. So Kevin, we've made it through I guess the first 3-4 months of Walmart.
the whole Walmart journey.
The Walmart journey, the ability to get a promotion from Lego.
The first promotion.
That's a beautiful thing. The Employee of the Month, we're doing good. I think we're making very slow progress. I figure by probably 2025, we should be close to the middle.
Yeah, I love it. It's so good. It's kind of crazy though. There's so many.
I want them all. We need them all.
And none of this seemed pretty significant when I was living it.
But, hindsight, man, hindsight. But I'm going to pull you off the big screen, and there's my face again. You can see I'm getting a little tired, a little punchy. Again, Kevin, we thank you for coming out and sharing your life.
Absolutely.
With us. We appreciate you for what you have done, who you are, and what you're going to do in the future. And I'm very happy to chronicle your life in Lego.
Thank you. Thank you for helping out. And I appreciate the questions, and they are definitely not interruptions to me. They are part of the conversation.
All right. Well, you know me. I'm forever, worried. But anyway.
Forever worried. You can't be forever sorting and forever worried.
Yeah, it just can't exist at the same time. Kevin, we're gonna call it tonight. I've really enjoyed it, and we're gonna get into what do you want to talk about next time? Let's give them a little something.
Oh man! So if we still want to keep on this journey, which I think we do, it's not good to jump out of timeline.
All right, we're in 2007, by the way, folks.
Yeah, this is 2007. Maybe early 2008. because the employee of the year's done.
But that doesn't mean he won't go back and tell you stories from 05 to 07.
I probably will.
You
I
need-
probably will, because you know what? You know what important things are starting to happen? The first time I met Reed, which goes by Hope Castle here on YouTube.
Shout out to him. Good
That's
job.
a big deal.
Yeah.
It's we're going to talk about when I tried to start working at Lego Universe, when I tried to be a concept artist in this time.
Oh, goodness.
I'm about to graduate college. 2008 is when I graduated college.
That's a beautiful.
And that was the second time that there is we could end Kevin's Lego career, or do we keep going? So we already had the first one with Walmart, and the second one's coming.
Oh, boy.
Because that's what, right? You finish college. What are you going to do with your life?
Yep.
So
Work at his Lego store forever.
So just those things could fill another hour.
Absolutely. He doesn't know his own way to talk. That those things can fill another 4 hours.
Probably. We could do a whole Read episode.
There you go. I think we should. I really feel like that should happen. And
We maybe if we want to break the mold,
wow, do we dare?
maybe he can be a part of it. Maybe.
Oh yeah. Reed talks as much as you do.
Because it could be like when you tell the story in both viewpoints at the same time,
Oh,
where it's like, and then this strange man came in, and then I saw that handsome guy with the mustache at the register. It's just like, you're too kind. You're too kind.
but yeah, we'll definitely reach out to Reed Hope Castle and see what he's working with, if he can handle getting down with these two old dogs.
Oh yeah, woof.
Yeah. But anyway, there you go. So that's what's coming up. Do not miss out, and don't forget to ask the questions. The questions that Kevin and I want you to ask. We want to hear it, and we want to know what you got going on in your mind. If you want a response, make it clear, and we'll get you worked out. For Forever Sorting with Kevin A. Hinkle, I am Brick Smith, and I thank you for joining us on our travels this evening. Or this morning. Whoops.
What is time? What is time?
This is telling them it's nighttime. Don't pay any attention to that. Anyway, thanks for coming. I'm Brick Smith. This is Kevin.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye. And remember, you gotta love
Love those bricks.
bricks. Bye.